Welcome back to AFT Dice Season 5. It is round 14. Let's go to the first game. It is Melbourne versus Port Adelaide at the MCG. Let's go to the first quarter. First quarter's nearly done. First quarter's done. Melbourne have kicked 3 goals, 3-21 to Port Adelaide 1-5-11. All right, let's go to the second quarter. Melbourne are up by 10 points. Melbourne kicking 3 goals, 4 to Port Adelaide 1-5 in that second quarter. At halftime, Port Adelaide are winning by 21 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Melbourne kicking 4 goals, 5, Port Adelaide 3-4. At three-quarter time, Port Adelaide are down by 28 points. Let's go to the last quarter. In the last quarter, Melbourne have kicked 6 goals, 5 to Port Adelaide 2-2. Melbourne win by 55 points. Melbourne final score 16-17, 113 to Port Adelaide 7-16, 58. All right, let's go to the second game. It's North Melbourne versus Carlton at Marvel Stadium. First quarter's done. We've got North Melbourne kicking 5 goals, 2 to Carlton, 4 goals, 5, 3 points at quarter time. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, very even. North Melbourne kicking 4 goals, 3 to Carlton, 4 goals, 2. At halftime, North Melbourne are leading by 4 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Carlton have kicked 3 goals, 6 to North Melbourne, 2 goals, 4. And at three-quarter time, Carlton are up by 4 points. Let's go to the last quarter to see who wins this game. And in the end, Carlton have won this game by 2 points. Last quarter, North Melbourne won the game, won the quarter by 2 points. They kicked 5 goals, 3 to Carlton, 5 goals, 1. But in the end, Carlton win by 2 points. Final scores, North Melbourne 16-12, 108 to Carlton 16-14, 110. All right, let's go to the third game of the round. It's Hawthorn versus Fremantle. Hawthorn kicking 3 goals, 3, 21 to Fremantle 1-6-12 in that first quarter. All right, let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Hawthorn kicking 5 goals, 3 to Fremantle, 4 goals, 6. And at halftime, Hawthorn are up by 12 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Hawthorn kicking 5 goals, 1 to Fremantle, 1-4. And at three-quarter time, Hawthorn are leading by 33 points. Let's go to the last quarter of this game. And in the end, Hawthorn have won by 50 points. Hawthorn kicking 3 goals, 6 to Fremantle, 1-1. Final scores, Hawthorn 16-13, 109 to Fremantle 7-17, 59. All right, let's go to the next game. It is Adelaide versus Geelong. It's the match of the round. We've got Adelaide kicking 6 goals, 2 to Geelong, 4 goals, 4 in that first quarter. Adelaide are up by 10 points at quarter time. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Adelaide have kicked 4 goals, 3 to Geelong, 2 goals, 5. And at half time, Adelaide are leading by 20 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Adelaide have kicked 5 goals, 4 to Geelong, 3 goals, 6. And at three-quarter time, Adelaide are up by 30 points. All right, let's go to the last quarter. And the last quarter, Geelong have kicked 4 goals, 2 to Adelaide, 1-4. But in the end, Adelaide have won by 14 points. Adelaide final score 16-13, 109 to Geelong 13-17, 95. All right, let's go to the next game. It is Essendon versus St Kilda. Essendon have kicked 1 goal, 3-9 to St Kilda, 6 goals, 3-39. St Kilda are up by 30 points at quarter time. Let's go to the second quarter. Essendon have kicked back. They've kicked 5 goals, 5 to St Kilda, 1-1. And at halftime, Essendon are trailing by 2 points. All right, let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, St Kilda have kicked 4 goals, 3 to Essendon, 2 goals, 6. And at three-quarter time, St Kilda are up by 11 points. Let's go to the last quarter to see who wins this game. And in the end, Essendon have won this game by 7 points. They kicked 5 goals, 5 to St Kilda, 2 goals, 5. Final score, Essendon 13-19-97 to St Kilda 13-12-90. All right, let's go to the next game. It is Brisbane versus Richmond at the Gabba. We've got Richmond kicking 4 goals, 3 to Brisbane 1-2-8 in that first quarter. All right, let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Brisbane have kicked back. They've kicked 4 goals, 1 to Richmond 1-6. And at halftime, Richmond are leading by 6 points. Let's go to the third quarter. And the third quarter, Richmond have kicked 4 goals, 1 to Brisbane 1-2. And at three-quarter time, Brisbane are down by 23 points. Let's go to the last quarter to see who wins this game. And in the end, Richmond have won this game by 18 points. Brisbane, they kicked 5 goals, 1 to Richmond, 4 goals, 2 in the last quarter. Brisbane final score 11-6-72 to Richmond 13-12-90. All right. That was an 8-point game because both teams were on the same points. All right, let's go to the next game. It is Gold Coast Suns versus Western Bulldogs. And the Western Bulldogs have kicked 6 goals, 4-40 to Gold Coast, 1-4-10. Quarter time, Western Bulldogs are up by 30 points. Let's go to the second quarter. Bulldogs, they kicked 5 goals, 2 to Gold Coast Suns, 2 goals, 3. And at half time, Western Bulldogs are up by 47 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Bulldogs, they've kicked 4 goals, 4 to Gold Coast, 2 goals, 6. And at three-quarter time, Western Bulldogs are up by 57 points. All right, let's go to the last quarter. In the last quarter, Gold Coast, they kicked 5 goals, 3 to Bulldogs, 3-5. But in the end, Western Bulldogs have won by 47 points. Gold Coast, 10-16-76 to Western Bulldogs, 18-15-123. All right. Let's go to the next game. It's West Coast Eagles versus Giants at Optus Stadium. West Coast, they've kicked 2 goals, 5-17 to GWS 1-2-8. 9 points the difference to West Coast. West Coast, they've kicked 1 goal, 5 to GWS, 3 goals, 1. And at half time, West Coast are up by 1 point. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, GWS have kicked 6 goals, 4 to West Coast, 3-5. And at three-quarter time, GWS are up by 16 points. Let's go to the last quarter to see who wins. And in the end, West Coast, they've kicked 3 goals, 6 to GWS, 1 goal, 2. But in the end, it is a draw, the first draw of the season. West Coast final score 9-21-75 to GWS, 11-9-75. All right, let's go to the last game of the round. It's Sydney versus Collingwood at the SCG. And the first quarter's done. Sydney have kicked 6 goals, 3-39 to Collingwood, 2 goals, 4-16. And Sydney are up by 23 points. Let's go to the second quarter. Second quarter, Collingwood have won the quarter by 4 points. They kicked 2 goals, 5 to Sydney, 2 goals, 1. And at half time, Sydney are up by 19 points. Let's go to the third quarter. Third quarter, Sydney have kicked 5 goals, 3 to Collingwood, 3 goals, 3. And at three-quarter time, Sydney are up by 31 points. Let's go to the last quarter. The last quarter, Sydney have kicked 6 goals, 1 to Collingwood, 1-4. Sydney Swans, they won by 58 points. Final scores, Sydney 19-8, 122 to Collingwood 8-16, 64. All right, we've got our first draw of the season against West Coast Eagles versus GWS Giants. And Geelong is the number 1 side in the competition at the moment for AFT Die Season 5. They're the number 1 offense team and the number 1 defense team. So there you go. They lost against Adelaide Crows. Well, they were playing Adelaide Crows at Adelaide Oval. It was the match of the round. Adelaide is second. So we've got Geelong top, Adelaide second, Port Adelaide third on the same points, 40. Then we've got GWS Giants. They drew. They jumped into the top 4. And then with the remaining 4 teams that are in the 8, we've got Melbourne, Richmond, Gold Coast Suns, and Collingwood. Sydney and Collingwood. Sydney just out of the 8 at the moment on percentage. And then we've got Fremantle. They've lost another one. They only have 3 wins for the season. So there you go. Match of the round, next round, round 15. We've on Monday, the 10th of June. We've got Port Adelaide versus North Melbourne at Adelaide Oval. But it's getting very interesting. We've got 3 more rounds to go. We've got round 15, 16, 17. And most of the teams basically can't get in the 8, and that is Fremantle. At this stage, they're winning the wooden spoon at the moment. And then we've got Geelong on top, who have got the minor premiership in hand at the moment, but anything can change in the last 3 rounds. All right, that concludes round 14. We'll see you next time.